finally let go, everything falls into place. You're trying so hard, it hurts. You know that feeling when you're holding on so tightly, trying to make something work, trying to fix things, trying to force life into behaving. Like if you just push a little harder, care a little more, double check one more time, maybe then it'll finally fall into place. But it doesn't. It slips further out of reach. The job offer ghosted you. The relationship felt like swimming against a tide. Your plans unraveled and your energy drained. You're not lazy, not clueless. You've done everything right. So why do things still feel off? Here's the thing. Life rarely clicks when you're clutching it by the throat. But the moment you loosen that grip, when you finally, deeply let go, that's when everything starts to realign. Crazy, right? But maybe not so crazy. Let's talk about it. Letting go. What it really means. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's not laziness, carelessness, or passive indifference. It's deeper, more powerful. Letting go is trusting the current instead of fighting it. It's showing up with effort but without obsession. It's doing your part and then not overthinking every possible outcome like a spreadsheet of existential panic. It's not apathy, it's wisdom. It's not that you stop caring, you just stop clinging. The illusion of control. We humans love control. It makes us feel safe. We plan, schedule, manage risk, back up our backups. It's part of what keeps society ticking. But here's where it gets messy, when we confuse control with certainty. Because life doesn't deal in guarantees. The weather changes, people change, circumstances flip overnight, and trying to manage life into submission is like trying to stop the tide with a broom. You can prepare, but you can't control the outcome, and the moment you accept that, that's the real freedom. When letting go feels impossible. Of course, letting go sounds nice in theory, but when your relationship's on the rocks, or your finances are shaky, or your health is hanging by a thread, it's hard. We want solutions. We crave closure. We want to do something. Waiting, surrendering. That feels like powerlessness. But here's what no one tells you. Letting go takes more strength than holding on. It asks you to trust something you can't see yet. It's terrifying and liberating. The turning point. Surrender as strength. Surrender has a weird reputation. People think it's weakness, defeat. But real surrender isn't collapse. It's conscious, intentional, empowered. It's saying, I've done my part. Now I'm letting go of what I can't force. Surrender is clarity. It's the pause before your next strong step. It's where your nervous system exhales. When you hit that moment, the one where your mind quiets, your breath softens, and you stop needing to chase, that's not giving up. That's waking up. How life aligns without force. You've seen it before. You stop obsessing over a text and the person finally responds. You stop desperately job hunting and the perfect gig pops up out of nowhere. You let go of needing to be liked and suddenly you're magnetic. It's not magic, it's alignment. When you stop resisting life, you stop sending out static. You start broadcasting something calmer, clearer, and life starts to respond to that. It's like tuning a guitar. You don't play harder to fix the sound. You adjust, then everything flows. Real life story, when I let go and things just clicked. I remember clinging to a project that meant everything to me. I overplanned, micromanaged, and burnt myself out trying to make it perfect. It was going nowhere. Then one day, I just stopped. I went for a long walk, ate some ice cream, slept in, and said to myself, maybe it's not supposed to happen right now. And within a week, the emails I'd been chasing came through. The pieces fell into place, not because I forced it, but because I let go of needing it so badly. That's when I got it. Letting go isn't the end of effort. It's the beginning of trust. And yes, I still eat ice cream when I feel stuck. What falls into place actually feels like it's subtle at first. You stop rushing. You stop checking your phone 43 times. You breathe deeper. You stop needing to prove anything. And then, one day, you notice you're laughing more, you're sleeping better, your relationships feel lighter. Life is no longer a checklist, it's an experience. Letting go doesn't fix everything overnight, but it frees you to receive what was trying to reach you all along. It's not about giving up control, it's about giving up the illusion of control. And that's when everything finally starts to fall into place. Micro moments of trust, daily practice. You don't have to move mountains, you just have to notice the pebbles. Letting go isn't a grand gesture, it's built in tiny choices. Choosing not to check your email one more time. Letting someone else go first in traffic without the inner commentary. Not reacting to that comment you could have snapped back at. These are micro moments of trust, mini surrenders. And over time, they rewire your nervous system. They whisper, you're safe even when you're not in control. And slowly, your inner grip loosens. Why we mistake struggle for worthiness. We've been conditioned to equate struggle with virtue, that unless we're pushing, striving, or sacrificing, we don't deserve the reward. But effort isn't the only currency. Peace is powerful too. You're not more worthy because you suffered more. You're not more lovable because you burned out proving it. Letting go reminds us we don't need to earn peace. We just need to allow it. The art of allowing versus always doing we love doing. Lists, goals, tasks, productivity feels like progress. But there's another art form, allowing. Allowing isn't laziness, it's receptivity. It's opening to what's already happening rather than trying to bulldoze your way through it. It's not passive, it's attentive. You let the moment unfold. You listen before speaking. You respond instead of reacting. And in that quiet pause, you discover wisdom. Flow, the sweet spot between effort and ease. Flow isn't about doing nothing, and it's not about grinding non-stop. It's that sacred in-between, the sweet spot, where your effort meets grace, where timing syncs up, where you're not dragging life behind you or chasing it, just walking with it. Flow is when the right people, ideas, and opportunities start showing up, and you're ready for them. You can't force flow, but you can allow it by letting go. How to tell you're backsliding into control. Even when we've let go, control has a way of sneaking back in, dressed in different clothes. Look for these signs. You're micromanaging people's responses. You can't sleep unless everything is perfect. You feel panicked when things don't go exactly as planned. You're over-explaining, overthinking, or overdoing. That's the cue to pause. Breathe. Step back. It's okay. You haven't failed. You're just human. And this is your reminder. Trust again. A practice to anchor the mind in surrender. Try this. Sit quietly. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Now say to yourself, I release what's not mine to carry. I trust what I cannot see. Repeat it. Let it sink in. You're not trying to escape life. You're stepping into it differently, with openness, with courage, with grace. Let this be your anchor when the waters rise. You begin to see that the universe is not against you. You start noticing things, that moment of perfect timing, that stranger who smiled, that job you didn't get, but thank God, because something better came. You stop thinking life is out to get you. You realize it's been trying to guide you. Letting go lets you see the signs you missed while you were too busy controlling everything. You start collaborating with life instead of battling it. Synchronicity. When life whispers, yes. Ever had one of those moments? You think of someone and they text you. You randomly pick a book and it has exactly the message you needed. You let go of a goal and something better replaces it. That's synchronicity. It's not coincidence, it's alignment. The more you trust, the more it happens. It's like life starts saying, finally, you're listening. Letting go and receiving joy without guilt. Some of us feel guilty when things go well. Who are we to be happy when others are struggling? But joy doesn't steal from anyone. It expands what's possible. It heals. It spreads. Letting go helps you receive joy without guilt, because you realize it's not selfish to feel good. It's necessary. Joy nourishes your spirit, and from that place, you can give so much more. An unexpected peace that replaces the old urgency. Remember when everything felt urgent? Emails, deadlines, texts, responses, decisions, outcomes. Letting go doesn't remove responsibility, but it dissolves the panic. You move slower, but smarter. You respond, not react. You still care, but without the chaos. And in that shift, peace enters, not forced peace, but earned peace. Peace that says, I'm okay, even if I don't have it all figured out. Letting go as a lifelong dance, not a one-time move. This isn't a checkbox, it's a rhythm. You'll forget, you'll cling again. You'll catch yourself halfway into overthinking and laugh. But that's the dance. Letting go isn't a one-time event. It's a way of moving through life. Loosely, lightly, lovingly. Lesson 4. Everything is temporary, and that's a gift. You know those perfect moments, a child laughing in the next room, your dog curling up beside you without a care in the world, the sunlight hitting your coffee just right while the world feels soft. And just like that, gone. We try to hold on. We reach, we grasp, we take photos, we try to stretch it like taffy. But no matter how tightly we clutch, the moment always slips through our fingers like water. Here's what Buddhism teaches. All conditioned things are impermanent, which means everything that's born ends. Everything that starts stops. Everything you experience passes. At first, that might sound harsh, maybe even sad, but stay with me. What if impermanence is the reason it all matters? Think about it. The cherry blossoms in Japan bloom for only a few days. People gather just to sit under them, to watch them fall, to celebrate their short life. It's because they're brief that we value them so deeply. If they bloomed forever, would anyone care? In the same way, life's fleetingness gives it flavor. You cherish your parents because one day they'll be a memory. You hold your lover's hand tighter because one day you won't be able to. You stop scrolling and look at the sky because something inside you knows it won't always be there. Impermanence doesn't mean detachment. It means deeper appreciation. So the next time something beautiful happens, don't rush to capture it. Don't panic because it won't last. Let it move through you like a breeze and whisper, thank you, that's enough. Lesson 5. The present moment is all you ever have. Here's the thing we keep forgetting. Now is the only moment that's real. Not 5 minutes from now, not yesterday's mess, not tomorrow's worries, just now. Yet how much of your life have you lived in moments that don't even exist anymore? You're walking, but you're not walking. You're arguing in your head. You're eating, but you're not tasting. You're reliving a conversation. You're with someone you love, but your eyes are scrolling a screen. And life? It's passing by while you're somewhere else entirely. Buddhism doesn't just teach mindfulness. It lives and breathes it. Thich Nhat Hanh said it best. Drink your tea slowly and reverently, as if it is the axis on which the world revolves. Because right now is the only time you'll ever truly touch. Want to stop overthinking? Come back to now. Want to ease anxiety? Return to the moment. Want to be happy? Feel where your feet are. Try this. Next time you're overwhelmed, pause and ask, what's actually happening right now? Usually, you're safe. You're breathing. You're okay. That's the magic. Not in some grand plan or far-off future, but in this sip of water, this breath, this heartbeat. Come back. You're missing your life. Lesson 6. Stillness is a superpower. You ever feel like the world just won't shut up? Buzzing phones, bad news, another email, another urgent message. Another thing you're supposed to care about that has absolutely nothing to do with your soul. It's loud out there, and slowly, without realizing it, it becomes loud in here too. Your mind spins. You can't sleep. Your heart races even though nothing's wrong. You sit in silence, but inside there's a storm. That's why stillness matters. Stillness is not just the absence of noise. It's the presence of peace. In Buddhism, monks spend hours in silence, not because they're weirdly antisocial, but because they know something we've forgotten. Silence teaches you who you are without the world telling you who to be. Try this. Don't just meditate because some app told you to. Sit, close your eyes, listen. At first, it'll be chaos. Your thoughts will run like a parade of wild animals. That's fine. Let them pass. Eventually, something shifts. You stop chasing, you start watching, and then, like a pond settling after a storm, your inner world becomes clear. Stillness is strength, not laziness. Stillness is clarity, not emptiness. Stillness is how you meet yourself again, beneath the roles, the worries, the need to prove. Stillness is your original nature. And here's the twist. It's always been there. You just needed a moment of quiet to remember. Lesson 7. Compassion is the way out of the ego. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you judged someone? Don't lie. We all do it. The stranger who talks too loud. The person who cut you off in traffic. That friend who should have known better. But judgment is just the ego in disguise. Buddhism teaches that ego is the illusion of separation, the belief that we are separate from others. And when we judge, we feed that illusion. We build walls. We tell ourselves, I'm better than them. Or sometimes worse, they're better than me. Either way, it's disconnection. So how do we break the ego's grip? With compassion, not pity, not blind forgiveness, but the simple, radical act of seeing another's humanity. There's a practice in Buddhism called metta bhavana, loving kindness meditation. You start by sending well wishes to yourself. May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be at ease. Then you send it to someone you love. Then to someone neutral. Then to someone difficult. Then to everyone. It feels awkward at first. Forced. Silly even. Until it doesn't. Until something inside you softens. Until the sharp corners of resentment round out. Until you realize you don't need to carry so much defense. Compassion doesn't mean agreeing with everyone. It just means understanding that behind every action is a person carrying something unseen. And maybe, just maybe, they're hurting too. Lesson 8. You are not your thoughts, and that's freedom. Let's start with a simple question. Have you ever believed something about yourself that turned out not to be true? Maybe you thought you weren't good enough. Maybe you believed you were too old to change, too damaged, too anxious, too complicated. And where did those ideas come from? Most likely, a thought. A quiet sentence whispered inside your mind at some point, maybe even years ago. It stuck, it repeated. It dressed itself up like truth and started running your life from the background. That's how powerful thoughts can be. But Buddhism teaches something radical, something that breaks this illusion. You are not your thoughts. Let me say that again, slower this time. You are not your thoughts. Imagine your mind like a sky and your thoughts like clouds. Some are light and fluffy. Some are heavy and dark. Some pass by quickly. Others linger. But none of them are the sky itself. They move through it. They change. They appear and disappear. And you are the sky, vast, unshaken. So what happens when you start identifying with a thought? You shrink your sense of self to the size of that one cloud. You become the anger, the shame, the anxiety. You think, this is who I am. But here's the truth. Thoughts are just events in consciousness. They're not your identity. They're not facts. They're not permanent. Have you ever sat in silence and suddenly remembered a random embarrassing thing from years ago? That's your mind. Doing what minds do. It creates, it recycles, it digs. And just because it appears doesn't mean you have to believe it. You're allowed to say, oh, that's just a thought. No need to argue with it. No need to suppress it. Just notice. You can observe your thoughts the same way you'd watch a leaf float down a stream. Here's a small exercise. Next time a painful or judgmental thought arises, instead of saying, "I am anxious," say, "I'm noticing anxiety." See what that does? It gives you distance. It shifts you from being inside the storm to standing under an umbrella, watching it pass. You are the observer, the witness, the awareness behind the mind. And that, friend, is freedom. Lesson 9. Everything rises and falls. Nothing stays forever. Let me tell you a secret. The most comforting and the most terrifying truth in Buddhism is the same. Nothing lasts. Every emotion, every situation, every high, every heartbreak, it all rises and falls. Like waves, like seasons, like the moon. We cling to pleasure, hoping it'll stay. We resist pain, praying it'll leave. But both are just passing guests. There's a story about a king who asked for a ring that would make him happy when he was sad, and sad when he was happy. His wise men gave him one that said, "This too shall pass." Simple, powerful, unshakable. When you're in pain and think it'll last forever, read it again. This too shall pass. When you're on top of the world and tempted to get cocky, read it again. This too shall pass. Now this isn't meant to make you emotionally numb or indifferent. It's the opposite. It invites you to fully experience the moment without grasping or pushing it away. Imagine you're watching a fire. If you try to grab the flames, you'll burn. But if you sit beside it, warmed, humbled, respectful, it gives you something real. Same with life. We suffer most when we demand that something stay. A relationship, a perfect moment, a version of ourselves. But as the Buddha said, all compounded things in the world are subject to decay. Here's the twist though, impermanence isn't a threat, it's a blessing. Because the anxiety you're feeling now, it won't last. The guilt from yesterday, it won't last. The tightness in your chest that shows up when you think about the future, even that won't last. Everything changes, everything shifts, and every ending creates space for something new. This is not a reason to fear, it's a reason to breathe, because no matter how heavy the night, the morning always comes. Lesson 10. Let go and you'll receive more than you ever expected. What if the very thing you're trying to control is the reason you feel so stuck? We try so hard, don't we? We grip, we plan, we overthink. We hold on tightly to what we think should happen, how others should behave, how life should unfold. But what if the universe is trying to give you something even better, and your hands are too full to receive it? Buddhism invites us to practice non-attachment, not as apathy, but as trust, deep, grounded trust. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Lao Tzu. Let go of who hurt you so you can heal. Let go of the timeline in your head so life can unfold in its rhythm. Let go of needing to prove yourself so you can actually be yourself. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means loosening the grip. There's a story about a man who wanted to cross a river. He built a raft and it served him well. But once he reached the other side, he kept dragging the raft with him through the forest because he had grown attached to it. Eventually, it became a burden. The Buddha asked, would it be wise to continue carrying the raft once its purpose was served? Of course not. But we do this all the time. With habits, identities, jobs, relationships, beliefs that once helped us but are now holding us back. Ask yourself gently, what have I outgrown but still carry out of fear? The truth is, when you unclench your fists, something incredible happens. You stop chasing, you start attracting, you stop forcing, you start flowing. Suddenly, you notice opportunities. New people enter your life. Peace settles where panic used to live. Because life isn't something you control. It's something you co-create, not by gripping, but by opening. So let go, not just once, over and over. Let go of needing it to be perfect. Let go of needing to be in charge. Let go of needing it to go your way. You might just find that what's meant for you has been trying to reach you all along. Closing reflection. Now that you've remembered, if you've read this far, really read, you've done something most people never do. You've paused. You've listened. You've looked inward instead of outward. That alone is powerful. The 10 Buddhist lessons you've just walked through, they aren't commandments. They're not meant to be memorized like rules. They're more like lanterns, something to carry with you, to light your way when the road gets dim. So what now? Nothing dramatic, just breathe. Keep watching, keep releasing, keep showing up with softness, even when the world feels hard. You're not here to become a monk, you're here to become you, but lighter, more awake, more at peace with the tides of life, and you're not alone. Every time you fall into old habits, come back. Every time you forget, remember, forgetting is part of the path. And every time you wonder if you're doing it right, ask, am I being gentle with myself? If the answer is yes, then you're already on the way. Welcome home.